I was born in blood and silence. My name is not important. Names mean little to those who persist beyond time. I have lived many lives, worn many faces, some noble, some monstrous, but all of them fed on the same truth. I am a predator in a world that forgot it once feared the dark. The year was 1247 when I first died. Hungary. I remember the cold stone of the monastery floor, the acrid stench of smoke, the pleading cries of the abbot as flames crawled up the rafters. I had come to confess my sins, hoping for mercy, but what greeted me was a rebirth. She found me beneath the chapel, a woman draped in shadow, her eyes like still water, depthless, merciless. She opened her wrist with a nail sharper than bone and pressed it to my lips. Drink, or die forgotten. I drank. That was the beginning. My humanity unraveled in days. The monastery burned, its relics charred to ash. I wandered Europe, half mad and newly immortal, learning to live in the margins. I fed where no one watched. I killed only when I had to. For decades I hid from others like me, predators even older, crueler. I survived by caution, by silence. But time does strange things to silence. It folds in on itself. It builds pressure. And eventually, it must speak. By 1842, I had become a ghost among ghosts. Industrial London offered cover, and fog made good camouflage. But the hunger never waned. I learned to take small sips, a vein opened in an alley, a drop stolen from a sleeping child. I left behind little more than rumors. I thought that made me kind. They didn't agree. The inquisitors found me in a sewer beneath Blackfriars. Men in coats of crimson waxed with sigils, their hands stained by centuries of righteous murder. They stabbed me through the throat with a blade of blessed silver. I lay there for hours, burning from the inside, bones liquefying. But they forgot the oldest rule of fire. Starve it of air, and it dies. So I waited, buried, drinking from rats and rainwater until my flesh remembered its shape. It took a year. When I emerged, London had moved on. New buildings, new kings, new wars, but the same shadows. Always the same shadows. I fled to the Americas, hunted for decades. Argentina, Canada, Alaska, wherever night lingered longest. I saw cities rise, crumble, rebuild. I watched revolutions sputter and stall. I met others, few, but enough to remind me what I was not: merciful. In 2021, the world ended slowly, not with fire, not with plague, but with indifference, climate erosion, resource collapse, humanity devouring itself like a wounded animal. In the chaos, I thrived. Cities darkened, surveillance failed, blood became easy. Still, they hunted. They never stopped. I've been impaled, burned, starved. I've been left on the ocean floor in chains, my lungs full of brine. But death is a door I no longer see, only the hinges. By 2367, Earth was a shell. The rich fled to orbitals and mining rigs on Mars. I followed, slowly, carefully. I boarded a derelict colony ship drifting in L5 orbit and fed on the crew as they slept. One by one, quietly. By the time they noticed, they had forgotten how many there were. Now it's the year 2400. I live on Arc Station 12, hidden among the labyrinthine vents of its lower decks. There is no sunlight here, no dawn, only power cycles and artificial gravity. I have adapted. I feed slowly, precisely. A medic goes missing. A custodian collapses and is marked as lost in decompression. They call it technical error. They are wrong. The beauty of space is its darkness. It welcomes me, embraces me. Here I am not a monster. I am inevitability. The stations breed carelessness, loneliness. People vanish in silence, and silence is my domain. Sometimes I walk the observation decks. I wear a face I borrowed from a dead lieutenant. No one questions me. They look away. They always look away. Because they know, even if they pretend not to. In the void, legends rise again. And I am very, very patient. The vents hum like breathing lungs. I do not sleep. not in the way they do, but I rest inside the warmth of the station's bowels, curled between thermal pipes and humming coolant coils. In the shadows of Arc Station 12, I am neither dead nor alive. I am watchful. There is a pattern to the station's life. Lights dim every 12 hours to simulate night, but the stars beyond the glass are constant. Shift changes follow mechanical rhythms. The hydroponics bay always smells of damp algae. The mess hall echoes with the same hollow laughter, the same tired footsteps. These things do not change. It comforts them. But I see what they miss. I see the decay beneath the order. Cracks forming in routines, whispers in corridors where no one walks. The loneliness that corrodes minds. Space is vast, but it's the silence that kills. I have learned their names. I watch their habits, their weaknesses. KG, the engineer with a failing liver. Helena, the botanist who takes sleeping pills in pairs. Murtaugh, the security officer whose guilt leaks from his pores every time he walks past Cargo Bay 7. I sip from them when I must, never too much, never twice in a row. I do not seek death, only continuation. A cargo freighter docked last week. New crew, 6 bodies. I watch them disembark from a duct above the hangar, their boots hissing against the grated deck. Fresh blood, fresh error. One of them has already vanished. They say he was disoriented, suicidal. The void is blamed again. So convenient. They do not realize what I am. Not fully. Some suspect. I hear it in their breathing, the way it changes when I pass. I feel it in the eyes that linger too long. But suspicion is not survival, and no one dares confront what they cannot name. I found an old chapel tucked behind storage unit 9G, forgotten, like most things in this artificial tomb. A crucifix still hangs there, crooked, its metal tarnished. It does not burn me, not anymore. Faith has no teeth in space. There are records, though, files buried in encrypted archives. Some of them mention me, though not by name. The anomaly, the drain, the silence vector. They measure entropy where I move, try to map what they cannot see, but entropy is my veil. I travel with the failure in their systems, the corruption in their backups. Every ghost image on a security feed is my passing. On day 1484 of my stay, I took a life too loudly. It was an accident. He woke too soon. The scream echoed. Someone heard. They sealed the habitat wing, locked it down, initiated scans, thermal, EM, even spiritual. But I had already moved, already become someone else. Her name had been Alyssa, a junior tech, alone, quiet. She died easily, and I took her place. I watched her funeral from her own eyes. Her colleagues mourned without question. I smiled when they did. Lately, I feel something shifting, not in the station, in me. The hunger is changing, not more, not less, but sharper, focused. I dream now, though I never used to. Dreams of Earth as it was, green hills, blood on snow, the scent of fire and pine. But in every dream, the sky splits. A tower rises, not steel, not stone, bone. I do not know what it means. Some nights I feel drawn to the reactor core. The pulse there reminds me of a heartbeat too steady to be human. I place my hand on the shielding and feel something answer. I am not alone. Perhaps I never was. There are rumors now among the crew that something walks between shifts, that voices echo in sealed halls, that mirrors show more than one reflection. They are afraid. It pleases me, but fear makes them dangerous. I must be more careful now. Feed less, hide deeper. Let their paranoia grow. Let them blame each other. They always do. I saw a child on the observation deck today, a passenger from another freighter. She looked directly at me and smiled. Children see truths adults bury. I wonder what she saw. I wonder if she will live long enough to forget it. In the stillness of Arc Station 12, I stretch myself thin. I drift through conduits, and whisper through speakers. I become more than shape, more than thirst. I become myth. And soon, myth becomes prophecy, because something is waking in the dark. And I am no longer sure it is only me. Time flows differently now, not slower, not faster, just deeper. It is the year 2400, but years mean little to me anymore. Dates are shadows, flickering on the wall of a cave I no longer dwell in. I know only hunger and the hollow peace of the void. Arc Station 12 is quiet tonight. The air recyclers hum in rhythms I have long since memorized. Above me, thousands sleep. Scientists, technicians, pilots, dreaming of Earth perhaps, dreaming of somewhere warm, somewhere real. I do not dream. They still haven't found the bodies from Deck 6, only the blood patterns, like flowers blooming where no flowers should grow. One report labeled it as biohazard seepage. Another, more desperate, called it a psychological event. How amusing, how fragile the truth is when left unguarded. I leave signs now, subtle at first, scrawled glyphs in forgotten corners, frost forming in the shape of sigils on sealed hatches, lights flickering at intervals aligned with no human logic. The whispers began last month. Maintenance crews hear voices in static. A name, they say, though they cannot agree on what it is. It is mine, though I have long since forgotten how to say it aloud. I do not fear discovery. I cultivate it, the idea of me, the myth. One body at a time, one heartbeat turned to silence. Arc Station 12 is becoming mine, inch by inch. The commander grows paranoid. He has initiated lockdown protocols on the upper levels, thermal scans, motion detection. But the station is old, full of blind spots, forgotten vents, narrow gaps through which sound travels, and breath may be taken. There are others now. I found them weeks ago, in the black beneath the cooling tanks. Survivors of other stations, changed, like me, fed differently, adapted. We don't speak. We don't need to. The hunger speaks well enough. We are not kin, not clan, just proximity. And in the dark, that is enough. Together we feed with purpose, not gluttony, precision. A slow unraveling of the human illusion of control. We take one from each crew, never more. Always random, always untraceable. But patterns form. Patterns always form. Now they speak of ghosts, of something moving in the artificial night. Some whisper the old word, vampire. But it means nothing here. There are no crosses in space, no holy water, only blood, and the endless cold. One engineer built a weapon, a crude light-based trap using plasma conduits. It killed one of us. Her name was Hollow, but her silence now is louder than any scream. I avenged her the next cycle. His bones fed the recyclers. They are learning, but not fast enough. Last week, the command deck lost contact with 3 surrounding satellites. Nothing dramatic, just silence, just absence. The commander suspects sabotage. He should suspect me, but he does not dare. And so I wait. Soon the signal will call them home. Earth is recovering, they say. A new colony initiative. They will abandon this place, mothball the station, lock it from orbit and drift away. But I will remain. This tomb of chrome and forgotten breath will become my kingdom. And when the next crew comes, when curiosity cracks the seal of history, I will be waiting. I have seen the death of cities, the fall of empires, the drowning of nations. Time has made me many things: prisoner, predator, God. In the silence of space, I am becoming myth, and myths never die.